There we go. Let's use the pick. Put that on there brand new. For today's video, we're changing the oil on a 2022 Ford Bronco Sasquatch Edition with a 2.7 liter EcoBoost motor. So for this, you're going to need 6 quarts or 5.7 liters of 5W30, an oil filter, a 15 millimeter socket, a 27 millimeter socket, some pliers, ramps, an oil drain pan, rags, funnel, and you're probably going to want a small pick. It was another chilly day in Nova Scotia at minus 23, but we got her done. So the first thing we're going to do is pop the hood using the hood latch. It's to your left when you open the door. And then you're going to find the oil filter housing to the left of center of the motor. And let's take the oil cap off now. Using your 27 millimeter socket and maybe an extension, loosen and remove the oil filter housing. Remove the oil filter. Now, using your pick, we're going to remove the old O-rings. I like to just get under them and pull them out so you can then pull them off. And since there's 2, it's a double seal, which means we're going to want to apply some used or even new oil to the new O-rings just to help them stay lubricated and make a good seal. We'll go ahead now and install the new oil filter into the housing. It's kind of off screen for a bit. And I'm using a Wix filter, though a Motorcraft would be totally fine as that's Ford's brand. We're now going to remove the small O-ring. Now this is kind of a pain because the O-ring is really tight and it doesn't come off easily. I'm also reinstalling the new big O-rings, so just slide those down, and like I said before, put a little coat of oil on them just so they don't stick to the filter housing as much. But the small O-ring is a real pain because it's very tight and it's very stiff. So when you're trying to put it over, the trick I found works the best is to get one side, your thumb on the O-ring on the opposite side, and use your pick to pull the O-ring over the plastic, and that seems to help. So once that's done, you can install the filter housing cup back into the motor. Make sure when you're tightening it down that you don't tighten it too much. I would honestly say 1/32 of a turn past snug is all the torque you need. If you torque it too much, it'll crack, or it'll be really hard when you do your oil change the next time to get it off. With all the work done on the top, we can go underneath the vehicle now and loosen off these 2 front bolts. They're slotted in the skid plate, so you can just pull them out. You don't actually have to take them all the way out. But the back 2 bolts you actually have to remove. So loosen the front and remove the back. With those back 2 bolts removed, slide the skid plate toward the back of the vehicle and remove it. Now you're able to see the yellow drain plug. So this is supposed to be a one-time use. However, you can definitely use it twice before you have to replace the O-rings or the plug itself. It's kind of similar to a Volkswagen that way. When you remove it, turn it counterclockwise. If it's too tight, you might need pliers, and as you can see, it drains very quickly. So just make sure your oil pan is ready. I actually put an anti-splash pad in to stop the oil from spraying around my pan, which has really helped. So once the oil is all drained out, you're just going to reinstall with a quarter turn to the clockwise position and make sure that it clicks so that it's actually locked in place. We can now reinstall the skid plate, so make sure you slide it under the front skid plate and line it up with the bolt holes. Then install the back ones and tighten all the bolts down. So I'll be using AMSOIL 5W30 OE grade for this oil change. It is API rated, so it's totally fine to use in the engine. It's 100% synthetic. Using your funnel, add 6 quarts of 5W30 to the engine. For your first startup after you add the oil, there's a lot of concerns about running the engine dry since the filter's on top. You can actually hold the brake pedal and the gas pedal down together while pushing the start-stop button, and that's going to allow the engine to prime itself without actually starting so that it flows the oil and you can start it normally after. So to reset your oil life, using the up-down arrows and the 3-line button, you can scroll through to settings, then you can go to oil life, and then just hold OK to reset it. Now you're able to start your engine normally and you're good to go. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.